Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer. Tonight I'm coming live to you from Trenton, Georgia. I want to talk to you a minute for about a few things I've got on my list of things to do, you might say. Let's see here. I'm going to pop this chat out because I know I can. There we go. Get that where I can work with it. There we go. First into the chat. Hassan's in the house. How you doing, Hassan? Thank you for joining me tonight. I've been doing a lot of stuff here lately. I've kind of picked up the pace on videos, and it's, if you'll notice, like today's video that dropped, I'm just going to talk about that for a minute first, was about putting a battery, it's not in here, it's in there, in a little Dell notebook computer I picked up. I bought that computer as an experiment. I see people buying these expensive fruit computers. Yeah, you see I have one. This one's 10 years old though. Okay. And it worked beautifully, and it still functions. It still works fine. But I want to use a computer that's not so expensive and doesn't have the ability to be repaired or be upgraded. And you just about can't fix those Macs anymore. It's just the nature of the way they build them. And because of that, I've started moving away from that. And I've also decided to move away from buying a brand new computer, because there's already bajillions of computers in this world, and they'll all work to more or less degrees of success as efficiently as you need them to. So what I've done is I bought a little Dell Inspiron. I think it's 2 or 3 years old. I think it's 3 years old, somewhere right in that neighborhood. It's a little work computer, and it's a 14-inch, not bad at all. Well, I gave I think shipped to my door was like $135. It was dirt cheap. It come with 16 gigabytes of memory, which after looking it up on the internet, I found out that's as much as the system will recognize. So it's maxed out on RAM, which seems to work fine. It had Windows 11 on it on a 256 gigabyte M.2 drive, which is right behind the camera in a Ziploc bag. And it's very expandable. It has room for a SATA drive, which would be a SSD. There's a space for that that's not being used currently, because what I done was I had a 1 terabyte M.2 drive, and I put that in it so I could put Linux on it, because the Dell machines are optioned from the factory to use Ubuntu. You could get it in some countries with Ubuntu instead of Windows. It was an option. Well, since it'll run Ubuntu natively, that's the reason I picked that machine for this experiment, was so I could put Ubuntu Studio on it, which is what I've been using for all of my creative work. I've got a IBM ThinkPad. It's a Lenovo ThinkPad, actually, that's sitting over here on the floor that I've been working with. I took it to Florida. It works great for editing, and it's got the same exact distro on it. I don't distro hop a lot. I don't put a lot of different distros and go through them. Once I find one that works, I just use it, because it's meant to be a tool, and the distribution, the OS, should get out of your way and let you just do your thing. Well, Ubuntu Studio does that. It has all the stuff for audio making, video making, and photography built into one suite. They've already bundled all the programs in the distro, so you don't have to install Ubuntu, then go on the internet and download every single package to get like GIMP and Darktable and OBS, and it's all built in. It downloads it all at once. So that's the reason I like Ubuntu Studio. It does what I need. Well, matter of fact, the one I'm using right now, I done a change to it today. I took out the AMD graphics card and I put in a NVIDIA GTX 1080, which is pretty old at this point. And I done some tests with it to see how it could handle the computer. I had two windows going at once, running 4K YouTube videos at the same time, and it barely got the wattage on the GPU up past like 25 watts, I think, and it was only running at like 44% load on the GPU. So if I can play two 4K videos at once and it play fine, that's a great graphics card for what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a video edit after this stream and start building the next video for the web, and I'm gonna see how it handles operational edits, like scrubbing through those timeline and all that stuff. But for me, that little 14-inch Dell is a really nice compact machine, and I mainly got it for ham radio. I wanted to start computer logging in the parks. It's just a lot simpler, and I wanted a dedicated computer just for that purpose. I didn't want to take my editing machine for my video and photos, which is pretty nice. It's 15-inch and it's pretty tricked out. It's got a nice CPU in it and things, and I just didn't want to risk dropping it, getting in and out of the truck and all that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to get a little cheap one to do that. This thing has turned out to be a wonderful little computer. And like I said, I want to spool it up at some point and do a video edit with it and do some photo editing, and because it's got all the programs, and I do it all off of a remote hard drive. But since I put a terabyte in it, I can load them locally, do the edits, and then move all the files over to my backup drive, and it should go pretty darn fast. But all that to say, it needed both batteries replaced. The BIOS battery was low. It was giving me battery errors. If you looked in the what do they call it, the records for the errors where it logs them, and there was a low battery warning, 2 or 3 of them. So it's been low for a little bit. And then the main battery was at about 45% life. Get this, a replacement battery for that computer was $22. It says now it'll go for, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours on the battery. It tells you estimated life when you unplug it and you look at the battery health. But yeah, it's impressive. Now, once I do that computer will probably be dedicated to the ham radio thing. But for now, I'm playing with it. We're just going to see. But I'm into this machine, seriously. If I just wiped Windows and didn't put another hard drive in it, I wouldn't even have the M.2 that I put in it. I would be in it for about $150. And it's a good computer. So there's that. That was the first touch point. Let's see. Who all's joined in? Trey's here. How you doing? Thank you for dropping by. Gary Buzel. Hey, it's been a while. Mayor of Chattanooga. No, I ain't the mayor. I don't want that job. But let's see. I will go for a photo walk tomorrow in Chattanooga. I almost did one today, and I did ham radio instead. Greg Cassidy, just finished watching the battery change-out video. Excuse me. I don't know why it makes me. I guess because I'm talking so much. I'm not breathing enough. I need to take more breaths. Let's see. Let me pull up. All right. Let's move the chat window. What am I going to do here? Let's see. I got to make some mods to my setup right quick. Let's see here. If I drag this over and I compress it a little, there we go. And now, and then we pull the bottom down. There we go. Now, hey, Jay Barclay's in the house. Okay, I'm gonna move this to where I'm not looking so far away to see the chat. There we go. Let's put that there. Let's put this here. That's a lot better idea. There. Now I can still see the chat there. Hello from Indianapolis. Hey, keep your head on a swivel. I think the storms that are coming through Arkansas are kind of headed your way, so you can keep up with that. You might dodge the bullet, but there was some up in Illinois too. I was looking at Ryan Hall a little bit before I started up this stream, and it looks like it's getting sporty. Let's see. First thing I want to do is I'm going to switch over to this. Okay. Now, as you'll see, Leica Camera Research Survey. Here are the top 5 features that can be implemented in future Leica cameras. Remember that. These can be implemented. Okay, we're going to scroll down. These are the 5 features. Ultra dynamic range, super resolution. By the way, they already have that in the SL2. It's a deal where it takes, I don't remember how many pictures. It does pixel shift. It winds up making like a 180 megapixel image. It's got a lot of strict rules, like it's got to be shot on tripod because the IBIS is disabled because it's moving the IBIS to do the pixel shift deal. Live photo, living memories instead of static photos, which is what an iPhone can do today. So you're night mode, taking photos in low light, like every Nikon camera in the history ever could do. And individual looks, which is what Fujifilm has had with film simulations since, I don't know, about 2012. I just thought this was kind of comical. I like Leica cameras, don't get me wrong. But just reading this list of stuff just seemed a little bit comical. It's like they're looking for something to talk about. I couldn't believe it. But the other day I did do a firmware update on my SL2. I powered it on and then logged into the Leica Photos app. We'll get into that in just a second. And it told me there was Jay said the storms are 30 minutes away. Good deal. Hey, Randall's in the house. Good to see you, brother. I have a Lunchbox PC i5 with a 2060 and 32 gig of RAM. Small and portable. Nice. That's a tiny little thing. Yeah, this is the one I just put that 1080 in. It's behind this computer. I don't know, it's as tall as this monitor, and it's big. It's a big old tower. It's not it's not like those new ones where it's double depth. But hopping back over on the Leica thing, I was doing that firmware update and I noticed one of the features was, get this, newsflash, eye detect autofocus. I tested it. Works great. It actually works like it's supposed to. I did a photo. If you follow my Instagram or my personal Facebook page, then because it auto shares my Instagram post to my Facebook page. If you'll notice, on Instagram, there's a photo of a gentleman in Chattanooga. Let's see here. Let me see what I can do about this. I bet I got it in a photo album. Yeah. I took this photo in the restaurant me and the daughter was eating at of this gentleman. He works there and he's super friendly, great guy. His name's Ryan. You can find him if you go to this picture on my Instagram, you can like follow his Instagram from there if you want. But this thing, like, it latched onto the eye perfectly. I was shocked at how sharp this is. It's impressive. But the window light was just too good to pass up. I asked him if he was up for doing a portrait in the building, but I was going to shoot it at f2 so that the background will be a little bit blurry and make it, a little cleaner looking, so it wouldn't be so. Because he's in the bar area, where the bartender works. But I thought it looked good. It turned out really good. But yeah, they gave us eye detect autofocus finally. It's been in the ZF since the whole time. Let's see here. Make sure I ain't missed something. Nope, looks like I'm still on the program. Okay, cool. But yeah, Leica's coming along. They're doing pretty good. They just come out with another camera. Well, it's been out a little bit now. I think it's called the Deluxe 8 or something to that effect. And they're speculating a little bit on a new, what was it? A new Q or a new M? I think it's a new M. Like they're working towards the M12 now. Hassan says, we got spared this time. Storms are staying north of us. But we did get 3 tornadoes from the last one, but mostly minor damage. Wow. Woo. Once again, I'm not breathing enough. I don't smoke, so it ain't like reduced lung capacity or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. Yeah, we didn't get, we got a lot of wind. Straight line winds was our thing. We had a lot of trouble with that, but we didn't have a lot of trouble with, as far as any tornadoes. We was pretty well spared of that. And supposedly, we're going to get, some thunderstorms out of this deal in a day or two. But we ain't supposed to see much out of this particular front that's moving through that I'm aware of. Gary Buzel's saying, curious to see what camera prices will do now there will be tariffs on all imported products. Right. Because as far as I know, there are no U.S. manufactured cameras anymore. They're all either made in Japan or Malaysia or Portugal. Leica makes, I think they make the camera bodies in Wetzlar, Germany. It'll surprise me if there isn't a little bit of what do they call it? Dispensation. Why can't I get enough air? I didn't start yawning until I spooled up the stream. This is kind of bizarre. But yeah, if you don't move enough units or something like that, then the tariffs will be lower, maybe. I mean, if it's straight across the board and it's no holes barred, everybody gets the same deal, prices are going to go up. They're going to go up a lot. Be ready. Nikons, Canons, Fujis, all of them. Because like I said, I don't think any of them are made in the U.S. at all at this point. At one point, Leica was making cameras in Canada to get around some of the import tariffs and stuff at times. That was, I believe, the reason, wasn't it, Gary, that they were making Leicas in Canada? And the Canadian Leicas are just as good as the rest of them. If you get one that's marked, a lens that's marked Canada on it, that's a Leica lens, it's a wonderful lens. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, there it is. Hassan brought it out. It's supposed to be an M11V, which means, and it has a digital viewfinder like the SL2. It has the EVF instead of, I don't know if it's going to be hybrid or if it'll be a full-on EVF 100%, which would, I'll just tell you the truth, be kind of nice, because if you really get, Roy says, I'm really glad I moved to Australia. Uh-huh. I seen the prices of y'all's camera gear. But yeah, it's going to be fun. The next year or so, it's going to be interesting to see what things do. It makes me kind of glad that I've got the gear I've got now. And the used prices will probably climb a little bit because people won't want to spend the money on new. And with new being more, then the used will start selling better, and that means they'll push the prices up. I mean, if you sell out all your cameras at MPB because they're sold so cheap, then when you get more cameras, you're going to price them a little higher, to try and move that product a little slower so you have that product in-house. And they try to meter it as it comes in and goes out, so it's, they don't want it there too long, but they want it there long enough that people have confidence that they'll have stuff when they go to look for something. So, it's kind of a balancing act. But, yeah, so it'll probably drive used camera prices up, too. Everything will go up. Randall says he drinks coffee or eats something to keep awake. So the coffee makes me to start burping, and when the belly is full, I take a nap and sleep for hours. I normally have my glass of water. I may run in there and get it. I forgot it. Yeah. Everybody claims it's moonshine because I use a little pint mason jar. Let's see. Randall says he filmed with the Nikon Z6 III at 6K at 60 frames, and he thought it only did 30 frames. Man, 6K footage. I don't envy you. 6K footage is terribly I mean, that's a lot of data. Them's going to be enormous files to edit. Gary says, yes, they open factories in Canada to avoid European taxes. Maybe Leica will open a Chattanooga factory. Oh, yeah. That would be great. Oh, you can see that in frame. These are a lifesaver. I have several of them, as evidenced by this one. What these are is, it's a memory card reader, okay? It's got an SD card on it. The other end has, this one has a lightning plug. What I can do is I can shoot B-roll with my iPhone. If I tripod it up, it takes shockingly good B-roll. And I can actually move them to this memory card straight from the phone. So I'm not trying to do some kind of weird balancing act or trying to plug the phone straight in the computer or whatever. I know that this memory card will read. And sometimes the phone will read as a hard drive, but then you got to know the file names, and it's just kind of clunky going between Apple and Linux. But if I save them to this, then I can just plug this into the card reader on the computer, drag and drop them in the folder, and I have the files. This is real handy. This one is the same thing, but it's USB-C, so I can plug it into my notebook computer when I'm traveling. So I can pull images out of my phone, put them in that computer instead, and because that computer doesn't have a card slot. The little tiny 14-inch Dell does have an SD card slot, which is super nice. Like, that should be a standard rule. This port should be on every laptop, in my opinion. Bar none. All of them should have this port. What do you think? But yeah, I didn't realize y'all could see that drive laying there. I got all sorts of junk on the table. We'll move that out of frame so it's a little neater looking. I normally have these chargers covered up too, but I didn't bother. I have a black cloth I lay over them, and because of the way the exposure lays out from this light and the one behind me and all that, you normally can't see those chargers. I really got to come up with a better way to do that. This is starting to get on my nerves. I'm thinking about making a slide-out shelf-like table on drawer slides on my desk here. I have a huge flat desk, and there's space underneath it over on that side. I could make like a pivot-out table or something and put all them chargers on that. And that way I could swing them out of the way when I don't need them. I need something because this is just a mess. Chargers, what are y'all's solution for chargers? Let's see. Still smaller than the Leica files compared to Nikon. Really? Huh. That's interesting. Because I didn't know that. Oh, he's talking about the video files. Let's see. David, TT Artisan has joined the L-Mount Alliance. That's cool. TT Artisan is one of my favorite lens makers. Even though I can't get their attention. I've emailed them a time or two. Crickets. I don't have the little board where you can hit the button to get the sounds. I don't have it. So you just got to imagine cricket sounds because they don't write me back. But yeah, I love their manual glass. They did have a new 50 millimeter. I think actually we'll hop over to this. The Nikon Z5's got a dedicated picture control thing. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if we can remap that button to something useful. Hopefully so. But I'm going to scroll up and go past the April Fool's joke. This, Viltrox, has got a 50 millimeter 50 millimeter f2. That's autofocus for the Nikon Z for $183. I bought this Nikon 50 millimeter f1.8S for $400 and something used. It was used like new. It didn't have a scratch on it when I got it. It was even in the box. But still, $400 and something for the Nikon. You know, and it's a third of a stop faster. Who cares about a third of a stop? That's irrelevant. The 50F2, and it looks to be a little more compact than this one, because this one, as you see here, is pretty big. That one, it's on a ZF. You can see in the picture it's a ZF top plate, but it's got it looks to be shorter. So yeah, I think they've got a really good thing going. And the Viltrox glass I played with was beautiful glass. It looked good. You know, technology's come so far, so fast that it's hard to get a bad lens now. It really is. Modern lens that's bad is an anomaly. It's not a standard. But yeah, TTRs and joining the L-Mount Alliance is epic. That's going to be awesome. Let's see. Let's move back here. So Roy's talking to Gary. Okay, says now only Viltrox go to L Mountain Alliance. What Randall said, yeah. Now if these guys will go L Mountain Alliance, we'll be set. Roy says he'd prefer a CF Express card slot because he's probably using a more powerful camera than me. All of my cameras still use SD cards. I don't have a CF Express camera at this point. I did have, what was it? Was it the Z6? I think used the CF Express. I don't remember which version it was. It was that odd camera or that odd memory card. It was super fast write speed. I don't remember what it was though. My D810 had those big CF cards. I guess that's what they were. The big square ones that they were fast. They were parallel cards though. You could see it. Hey, Jimmy's here, or Albert Jimenez. Am I saying that right? He's in the house. Viltrox is in negotiations with Leica to join the L Mountain Alliance. That's cool. Roy says he has an entire table dedicated to battery chargers. That's what I kind of have here. It's an end table that goes by this day bed behind me. And yeah, it's completely covered in different chargers. And yeah, there's different USB cables and USB-Cs and USB micros and USB minis for different things that have to have charging. Like, where's that light at? Here it is. I have this little panel light. It's kind of old, but it charges with micro USB. You know, it's because that's just the way it is. It's a good light, works great. You know, but you got to charge it with USB. And I've got like a bunch of USB-C cables because a bunch of the modern stuff is all charged off of USB-C. So I want to charge like all of my batteries at once. You know, the new Viltrox ENEL15C are USB chargeable directly on the battery. I'm pretty sure that's what's in the camera now. Yeah. That's a USB-C port straight on the battery. That is a selling point to me. When I travel, I just need a USB-C cable. I can charge the batteries. I don't have to carry the external charger anymore. I don't have to hunt a wall outlet just for the charger, you know, and hunt a space for it. I used to carry it because that's how you charge the batteries. But yeah, and then you have in-camera charging with this, and guess what? USB-C. Yeah. Gary's done went all Nikon on me. This is the Leica guy. Bear in mind, he loves his Leica cameras. He just picked up a Z8 and a Z6 III, and he's going to get the ZF next. I considered the Z8 for a little bit. The Z6 III didn't appeal to me because this essentially is a Z6 III or Z6 II. It's a Z6 with a different skin, you know. It's got the same sensor and the same IBIS and, you know, all the stuff that the Z6, I think 3 does, this camera does. So, but hey, Photography Adventures is here. How you doing? That's Ron. Let's see. There's some stuff happening in chat. Okay, yeah. Let me get back over to my... There we go. So, David, what did you think of my Last Supper soccer photo? Dude, that was pretty cool. It actually turned out good. I do like it. I like it a lot. I think you should print it like crop it to like 6:18 or whatever that is. That really wide 3:1 ratio. I think that it would look good at that crop because it works out. Because yeah, like even the coach doing his hand gesture, that it just looked like it. Yeah, dude, I was seeing it. ZF, thanks to you. You had to use sell the Z6 III and get you the ZF. Actually, I think the Z6 III is really good for video. So if you're going to use it as a video camera, video centric tool, I think the Z6 III is a powerhouse in that respect. Roy has a warehouse. Recently, I threw out my jar of failed SD cards. I'm still waiting for an XQD or a CFE card to fail. Wow, I have had exactly 2 SD cards go bad over the years. And I'll tell you when they went bad. It was not while I was shooting on them, because I changed my SD cards out because they're only good for so many write cycles. No reusable memory media, even like these little thumb drives. None of those are good past a certain number of write cycles. They start getting damaged memory pixels, not pixels. What do they call that? Bits. There's bits in memory that start failing as you write and read them and wipe them and write over it and write over it. Every time you work that memory, you damage some of those little cells, and over time, it gets enough damage that it has to mark those sectors as unusable. It's just like old hard drives that would have damaged sectors. It would still use the drive. It just ignored the bad sectors. Same with these media. So after about 2 years, I buy new cards, maybe 3. I went 6 or 8 years on the D810, never had a failure. The only reason I would upgrade cards, I get bigger, more capacity cards, or maybe faster read-write rates, because the newer cards would just write faster and hold more photos. And I get to where I'm using them now, like the one that's in this now. This one here is it's a 64 gigabyte Extreme Pro SanDisk. This is a transporter room, is what I jokingly call these kind of cards. I plug it in the phone, I save the memory card or the photos of the card, and then I plug it in the computer, just wipe them out of the card, and then I erase the card. So, this card sees a lot of use like that. And once it dies, I have a bin full of cards that I have taken out of service, because all of the ones in my cameras are 256 gigabyte now. So I don't use these 64s. So that's what they turn into, is I use them like thumb drives. I have my Linux OS that I put on my computers is on one of these. I just plug it into the SD card port. It's on the PCIe bus. It'll read it just like a drive. So yeah, I relegate them to that. But I've had 2 die doing this work with them, where I've took them out of regular use, and they'll get to where, and one of them wasn't because it wouldn't read and write. It was because the stupid little lock switch wouldn't stay unlocked. I'd go to plug it in, and over time it wore that switch out, and it would just fall into the locked position, and I couldn't, it was frustrating me. That was the only reason I took it out. But I've had 1 or 2 fail, but never in a camera. For you to have a whole jar full of them, that's pretty impressive. You must have shot a lot, because I shoot what I feel like is a lot of photos, and like I said, I've never had one fail in under use. But if you wrote to them enough, I could see it. I could see it happening, because like I said, it's write cycles. That's what burns them up. Hey, Phil's in the house. How you doing, Phil? I'm about 20 minutes behind. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you for hopping on. Let's see here. Photography Adventures asked me, did you go shoot today? No. I wound up doing some chores around the house. I came back home. I did some ham radio this morning after I pestered you for a few minutes. I went down and done some ham radio at the National Battlefield Park just south of Fort Oglethorpe. And then I came home and done some chores around here that really just did need to be getting done. But tomorrow I am going to go. I'm going to go shoot tomorrow morning. So I have an open invite. I'm going to be in Chattanooga tomorrow morning. So if anybody wants to go shoot with me, I will be there. Just saying. I'll probably be shooting with my Leica SL2. I've been kind of wanting to play with it some here lately. It's a wonderful camera. It's heavy, but it's a wonderful camera. I did shoot with this ZF the other day. As you can see, it has the Leica vintage 35mm f2.8 from the 60s. I've got it adapted with a simple ring that's not got electronics or nothing in it. But this is a great little setup. This takes beautiful photos. But yeah, that's a great little camera for just wandering around the city. I was never a big 35mm guy until I used it on this camera. And it kind of makes sense, because just getting out in the city and wandering around and getting photos, it gives you like a little bit of breathing room. And it's still good and sharp. And you can get closer and get the same kind of frame that you can get with the 50. But 50 ain't far behind. It ain't far away. It's within arm's reach. I got this 55 out. I have a story I was going to bring to the stream, but I'm going to make a video out of it instead, so I'm not going to talk about it. It has to do with an Asahi optical 55 millimeter. But to me, these two lenses are the same lens. This is a 51.8 S lens. This is a 55 f3.5 micro Nikkor. This lens will, of course, focus way closer, but it's lighter and smaller. I mean, you know, even with a lens adapter, they're about the same length, but it's still smaller in diameter, and it's got a good feel to it. The focus is just glass smooth. Wonderful lens. I love shooting with both of them. So, you know, for me to pick a lens for the day, because I pick one and then I leave the rest of them behind in the truck. I don't take them all with me. I have come to that point in my life where I pick the system I'm going to use that day, and then I go. And I just make it work. And I really enjoy doing that. For some reason, it's kind of brought the joy of wandering the city streets of Chattanooga back, and it's made it fun to do. I don't know if y'all have noticed the upload scheduling, but I've actually had so many videos that I've put together recently, and I still have 2 in the queue to build out, whatever the wording is there, that I've actually been able to do a couple of midweek videos like y'all saw this morning. And it's just been fun again. It has. It really has. You know, I guess the limitation of the single focal length and not having anything else with you makes it more of a challenge to get good photos because, you know, you don't have all of the options. You know, there's a time and place for options. There really is. Like Phil, if he's still on the stream, where he's shooting like the sporting events. You could do it with a prime. And Ray does occasionally, but we'll be honest here. The zoom is the tool for that. It just makes sense. You know, it gives you the power to adjust framing on the fly. It just makes so much more sense. It's like wedding photographers. Any wedding photographer worth his salt is going to have a 24-70 and a 70-200 and 2 bodies. If you have that setup, you can be a jam-up successful wedding photographer. Long as you can do a little bit of scheduling and you're halfway decent at taking the pictures, then you can literally, with just that system, be a jam-up wedding photographer. That's all you need. And all the wedding photographers I've ever really seen, that's what they usually run. And it's not brand new gear. Usually it's 5-year-old cameras. You know, today, you'll see them using D750s. Seriously. Or D800s. D850s would be upper end cameras for them, but you'll see a lot of D750s, D610s. It's shocking what they're still using as a tool for a professional. They don't have to have the latest and greatest. Oh, there's a lot going on in the chat. The Viltox 50-50 F2 isn't bad. I reviewed it. Do you still have it? I'd like to use it if you do. Let's see. After walking with David the other day, I want a tilt shift. Now, Viltrox or Nikon One made a tilt shift lens. Was it? I saw it. I'm looking at the Nikon Rumors site. I don't remember where I saw it. I thought I saw it on Nikon Rumors, but no, that's the Z5. It's got that 50 F2 on it. I don't remember where it was now. But one of them had that new, I think it's Viltrox is making a tilt shift. Might be Seven Artisans. One of those guys has a good looking tilt shift lens. I saw a YouTube commercial about it, and it showed them filming with it, and it had the miniatures. You know how it makes it look like the world is miniatures, like you're looking at a diorama or something. They were filming across like a bay at a city with it, and it looked good. I'm gonna do something tonight that I've been kicking the can down the road, but I'm gonna pull the trigger on it, and I'm gonna see if it works. And I'm gonna do it on stream with you guys. All right. I have figured something out. I'm switching gears, and it's back to the ZF. Okay. I want to use it for an upcoming event. Let's see. Nikon has 2 1924. Making sure I ain't missed something where you are directing a question at me, because you guys are chatting after talking with David. Me too, Ron. They're not cheap. They are so expensive. The tilt shift lenses, yes, they are. The actual Nikkor tilt shift is the old manual focus one. They're still a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not into the thousands. They're crazy expensive. Roy's got a D4 with over 1 million shutter actuations on it. Good Lord. I had that D810 for years. Shot it what I thought to be a lot, and it had something like 36,000 shutter clicks on it. It was essentially new. I thought I had took so many pictures with that camera. I had, actually. But what it worked out to be is we'd go to those rock climbing events, and I would end up taking several hundred photos, maybe 300-400 photos, not thousands and thousands like Ray Saldano or apparently Roy Bigsby here. But, you know, and you go to one a month or one every 2 months. Well, I thought I was taking thousands and thousands of pictures. Yeah, and I checked the shutter count on it when I sold it, and it was like 36,000 and something. It wasn't even nothing compared to what everybody else does. I nearly knew one of the well users sold the wrong one at a very low price. Oh! All right. We're going to hop back over to this. I found something the other day. Everybody, I guess, is aware of this adapter. This adapter fits a Nikon F-mount lenses to Sony E-mount cameras. Okay? This actually, let me see if I can zoom in on it. That right there is the screw drive focus adapter. You can see my mouse moving around it. This drives AF lenses, okay? Not your usual, what is it? Oh, what's the new ones called? The G series, the gilded ones. They're AF-E's or whatever. But this will do the actual screw drive focus lenses. Unfortunately, it's for a Sony camera, for Sony E-mount cameras. But then I noticed this. Viltrox makes a Sony E to Z Nikon autofocus lens mount adapter ring that will convert Sony E-mount lenses to Nikon Z-mount cameras. If I am to understand this right, I can buy this adapter ring, put it on this adapter, and then I can put my AFD glass on my Z camera. It should work. So I'm about to put this crap in the cart. No, I don't want that, because I got 30 days if I don't like it. Okay, now we've got it in the cart. Let's bail on this. Let's go to this one. Let's add this to the cart. No, I don't want it on that either. Okay, where's the cart? Proceed to checkout. All right, it's going to the right address. Yeah. Deliver to this address. What? No, I'm not doing the tax exempt. Wednesday, Monday. Okay, that'll be fine. What? Yeah, that'll be fine. Whoa, wait a minute. $20 more if I want it by the 10th. I need it by the 10th, actually. So we'll pay the extra $20. Because the 15th is after the event I want to use it for. So let's place the order. Yeah, I just dropped $560 on adapters. If they don't work, I'll send them back to Amazon. But if they do work, I just built my adapter. I have tried the one on the Leica camera. Nah. It works technically, but it doesn't work well. And it also took all of the functionality except aperture control and autofocus out of the camera. None of the other functions on the lenses worked. Nothing. So yep, I just did. Yeah. Oh, look, I have a phone call. Let me take this. Hello. I'm in the middle of a live stream. Can I call you back when I finish the stream? Well, hmm? Oh, good. Yeah. All right. Bye bye. All right. She wasn't looking at Amazon. Let's see here. I might be wrong, but I don't believe any mirrorless camera will ever reach 1 million actuations. Is this credit card company fraud detection calling him? Yeah. No, that was Teresa. Hassan says challenge accepted. He's going to try to get 1 million actuations. I mean, to get 1 million on a ZF, it'll be brassed up because this top plate's brass and so are these knobs because they want it to kind of be like, they want it to be similar to Leica, so it'll brass out. I haven't rubbed through the paint yet. The black lacquer paint's real pretty. I'm not deliberately going to brass my camera. I'll just do it through use. Ah, good. Okay. Hit me up, Phil, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see when we can meet. But yeah, I forgot your usual day is Thursday, isn't it? Roy says his 1950 camera electronics is failing. I have a 1950s camera over there that has no electronics. It has one of them. Was it? What is that sensor? Selenium that does the light metering. It's weird. It has a meter, but it doesn't have a battery. And it's all manual. It's real difficult to work with. It's a real tough camera. If you want to appreciate, does shutterless count? Well, yeah, because it's mirrorless. Um, but well, let me just grab it. I'm talking about this Zeiss Icon. This camera has all the functions are on the lens. You have the aperture. Yeah, the back ring is the aperture. The middle ring is the shutter speed. And the front ring is the focus. Okay. And on top it has a light meter. And you just point it and it automatically starts detecting light. Like it sees it right now. It's actually seeing like it's in the high range. I sent it off and had it serviced so it works perfectly. It takes beautiful photos, but it's a lot of work to get good photos out of a camera like this because you can't see through the taking lens has no way of confirming focus. You literally have to just look on the lens at the focus depth of field scale, set it to what you think it is, and then take the picture and kind of hope it's in focus. You just and it doesn't have like it does have a depth scale on the front, but you got to hope that it's calibrated. I got some good photos with it, but yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, you get this viewfinder that's kind of for composition purposes, but it's weird. It's a lot of fun to play with. I bought that in England. We was in the town of Winchester, and they just had this flea market, and this guy had all these vintage cameras. I didn't give much for it. I don't remember what I paid, but it wasn't a lot. But yeah, of course, the shutter was gummed up, and it wouldn't take, it was off, out of calibration real bad because of the bad grease. So I sent it to a camera guy up, I want to say up in Maryland, and he dismantled it, serviced it, put it back together. It looked brand new when I got it back. Works perfectly. Beautiful camera. Yeah, if you want a challenge, get one of them. It's not you carry a light meter in your pocket. I mean, it has one on the camera, and I compared it to my handheld meter, and it did work, but you just kind of point it towards the scene and look at the camera because you can't aim it easy. It's just weird. I'm looking at all the stuff that's coming through here. But yeah, I want to try that adapter and see how well it works. like I said, if it don't work, if it doesn't perform as advertised, I'll just send it back. But I'm gonna give it a shot and see. I was curious. Oh, I'm still on the. There, fix that. Y'all are having a look at the Z5 or the ZF with the 50 millimeter on it, but which is kind of ironic. That's what I like to run anyway. But have you guys noticed anything interesting in the photography world that I have missed? I've been seeing a lot of videos here lately about like street photography. It's like it's now that it's starting to warm up, all of the guys with street photography-esque channels are popping out of the woodwork. My feed's full of them. The Z5 too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I get past this. Yeah, here it is. I'll hop back over for a second. This came out on March 31st. The Z5 II, and it supposedly, if I go to the very top, is announced today. Says that April the 2nd, that they're supposed to announce it tonight sometime. Has it been done? Does anybody know? Let me refresh this and see if he says that they've announced it. No, he hasn't said that they've actually done the announcement. But, well, I clicked read more, but it's not reading more. I wonder if that's a dead link. Oh, there it goes. Let's see. It's a good looking camera. Size and weight are almost identical to the current Z5. You don't hear a lot about the Z5. It's just, it's kind of a, to me, it's an anomaly camera. Everybody talks about the Z6, the Z8, and now it's the ZF and a little bit about the Z9. You know, the Z9 had a lot of buzz when it first dropped, but now there's, you know, the pros that have them shoot with them, but you don't hear a lot of buzz about them. But you do hear a lot about the Z6 series and the Z8s. You don't hear much about Z7s. Z6 and Z8s is the lion's share of it. I mean, the ZFC, crickets. Oh, I can cancel it. All right, hold on. All right. Phil says don't order the adapters yet. Let me see. I'm going to pull that back up. I can, since the orders have just been placed, we can cancel said orders. Where's it at? Problem with order. Let's see. Oh no, this is the other side of it. Let me go back. View or edit order. That's the button. All right. Cancel item. Created order by mistake. Because that's what we're going to call it. Since they haven't packaged it yet, it'll be all right. Okay. Now let's see your orders. Let's get rid of the other one. Phil's just catching up with that part of the stream because he said he was a few minutes behind. All right. Okay. There. Let's see here. Rumors of the global shutter Z9 called the ZX. That would be epic. They have access to the technology when they bought Red, because Red had global shutter technology. Does it have IBIS and which sensor? Z5? Probably don't, if I'm guessing right. Let's see. We'll go back to this and take a quick. Dual SD card slots, pixel shift, selfie mode. Pixel shift, maybe it does have a IBIS. Let's see here. Turn on this and that, size and weight, upgrade autofocus from that of the Z8, which is what the ZF has. EVF, is basically a ZF internals in Z6 III designed body. Wow, that's going to be a pretty hot rod camera. The ZF has IBIS. It's almost all the features of ZF, but it will also introduce some new features. Remember to have dedicated picture control button, similar to Fujifilm. Well, no top display, which, you know, this one only has the f-stop. And when I'm running vintage glass, there's none of that. Doesn't say it has IBIS, which they haven't dropped it yet, technically. These are what they think will show up when it drops. And it's supposed to be announced today. Nikon is not making any sense. Why would you put the Z7 or the Z6 III in a Z5 body and take off the top display and probably take $2,000 off the price? Albert made a good point. Nikon should be embarrassed because another company beat them to the punch with the screw drive lens focus adapter. I've said that from the beginning, that they could make that happen because they have the technology that from the screw drive lens focus technology. They have the new mirrorless focus technology and source code that runs it. There's no way for them to be out of the loop on how to make an adapter to couple them two together. They could have done it a long time ago and sold a bajillion of them adapters. I would have paid top dollar for a Nikon ZF, whatever, you know, what is it called? FTZ AF adapter, whatever they named it. I would have straight up bought one without question. The day they launched it, I would have got on the list. Because, you know, they photo rumored it back in, I guess, January or February, and I was real excited about that idea, and it's been crickets. They ain't dropped one. Ah, okay. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I can't do the link. Let's see. Get myself sorted out here. Oh, come on. There. Found it. Trying to get some sorting done. Let's see. Go over here. There we go. There. We'll do it this way. But I'm curious to see how this adapter works. And if it works like I'm hoping it does, then I'm probably going to own one real soon, because that's something I really do want. I really would like to have autofocus with my 105 f2 DC Nikkor on my ZFC. Like I said, since I don't have autofocus with it at this time, I put it on my SL2 Leica and I manual focus on it instead. And that combination works really well. Oh, look, Woody Mallory made it. How you doing, Woody? Editing high school softball photos from today. Wow. Woo. There we go. Oh, too many letters. Okay. Let me do this.
Hey folks, if you are
Okay, let me copy that. Put that in here. A lot smaller. There's the link to the YouTube video from Matt Granger. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know why I can post a link and you can't. I have not explored it to figure it out. Maybe it's some kind of a setting for the chat settings. Let's see here. Got that done. Okay. Oh, wow. He talks funny. You guys kill me. Nikon users are quite unhappy about the screwdriver adapter since the DC lenses cannot be replicated. Yeah, it's one of my favorite lenses. That 105mm is a wonderful piece of glass. I use it way more than I would have thought I would have since I got rid of my one screwdriver focus camera that I did have with that D810. If I just buy the D850, I'd have one and it would work fine on it. I just haven't bought one. Why do we need to see Matt Gray? He's talking about that adapter. That's why. If you haven't seen it yet, he's got video. It's a little short. It's not a big video. AFD lenses are usually too noisy for video. Yeah, they do make noise when they're focusing. You know, that little screw mechanism whirs back and forth. That's true. There. Photography Adventures, that's Ron, says, I think there are separate departments at Nikon, and they all have their own agenda about what their camera body will have in it. The Z9 people are pimping all the improvements to the other departments. Yeah, you get trickle-down effect. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. I'm catching up on the chat. Let's see. What am I looking at here? Ooh, yeah. But those are the things that I was going to talk about. I wanted to just go over some of the current events, some of the Nikon and Leica rumors, and cut up a little bit about the things Leica's threatened to come out with. You know, the stuff that's been in Nikon and Canon cameras for years now. It's kind of like Apple dropping a feature that Samsung has had in their smartphones for 5 years. You know, same sort of thing. But yeah, that was and to brag a little bit about how Leica now has eye detect autofocus in the SL family of cameras. At least the SL2 does, and how well it actually works. I think the ZF has better. It's still better, but it did detect his eyes and it did focus on them, and it worked really well. So I was impressed with that. But if you guys have anything to chat with me about going forward, just shoot me an email. It's in the link in the description of the video. You go to the website, you can ping me there, or you can hit me up if you already have my video. Oh, thank you, Phil. He's talking about the pan and blur photo from the photo walk the other day. I added it to my Instagram. And it shared it over to the Facebook page. You know, they auto share now. Your new computer is cool. Thank you. Yeah, I got $155 in it. It works really well. But I'm gonna get off the stream. I'm gonna call Teresa and talk to her for a little bit. She's out of town right now, so that's why I was able to stream tonight. And there'll be a video Saturday. And until next time, I'm going to tell you, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? Because we'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to shut her down. Oh, it's this big blue button that says stop streaming. Good night, y'all. I wonder if we will all be using power zooms in a year or two.